She was interested. You know it. The messages flowed, the dates happened, there was chemistry. And then, out of nowhere, the cold shoulder. Monosyllabic replies, vague excuses. And you're left there, a prisoner of your own confusion, wondering what the hell happened. The answer nobody told you is this: you killed her interest with your own hands. And the worst part, you didn't even realize you were doing it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly the 6 invisible behavioral patterns that turn attraction into boredom, desire into disinterest, and how you can identify and eliminate each of them before it's too late. Because the real cost here isn't just losing a woman, it's losing months, years, repeating the same mistake, and feeling less and less capable. You believe women are complicated, that they change their minds for no reason, that their interest is volatile, unpredictable, almost cruel. And it's exactly this belief that keeps you stuck in the same cycle. The truth that frees you is the opposite, and much simpler. The loss of female interest is a predictable response to a set of specific male signals and behaviors that you are unknowingly emitting. She didn't wake up one day and decide she no longer liked you. She reacted, almost automatically, to the weights you added to the wrong side of the scale. Yes, there is a scale of attraction between you and her. Every action, every word, every silence carries weight. Some behaviors add pounds to the side of disinterest. Others maintain balance or tip the scale in your favor. The problem isn't who you are. It's what you're doing without realizing you're doing it. Here's the formula nobody taught you. The less you value yourself, the more she devalues you. The more you chase validation, the less attractive you become. And this isn't opinion, it's mechanics. Now, let's get to it. I'm going to name the 6 behaviors that are destroying your perceived value and making every woman lose interest in you, no matter how much she liked you at first. Pay attention, because each of these patterns has a name, a clear definition, and an example you'll recognize immediately. First, the validation trap. This happens when you transfer the center of gravity of your self-esteem to her. You start seeking female approval excessively, becoming dependent on her response to feel good about yourself. Concrete example: she doesn't reply to your message for 2 hours, and you send 10 messages in a row, each one trying to confirm she's still interested. Each one communicating that you're unsure of your own worth and need her to validate your existence. This behavior is a slow poison. She doesn't see a self-assured man. She sees someone who needs her to exist, and that kills any remnant of attraction. Second, the reactivity boomerang effect. You react emotionally in an exaggerated way to small tests or signs of disinterest. You show a lack of emotional control, as if her every action were a personal attack requiring immediate defense. She takes a while to reply to a message, and you become visibly upset or start an argument about commitment and respect. She's testing your limits, your emotional stability, your ability to maintain your frame, and you fail. You show that you're easily shaken, that your internal state depends on her behavior. She registers this. The scale tips. Third, the excessive availability fallacy. You are always available, always accessible, eliminating any sense of challenge, scarcity, or value from your own time. She calls you last minute, and you cancel an important commitment to be with her. This happens once, twice, 3 times, and at no point is there reciprocity. You've become predictable, easy, without cost, and what has no cost has no value. Human psychology is cruel on this point. We value what is scarce, what requires effort. By always being available, you've communicated that your time is worthless. Fourth, the too nice guy syndrome. You prioritize her comfort and approval at all costs. You avoid healthy conflicts, avoid setting boundaries, avoid disagreeing. She's repeatedly late, cancels plans without notice, disrespects your schedule, and you say nothing. You smile and accept because you don't want to be the difficult guy. But what you're actually communicating is that you don't respect yourself enough to defend your own boundaries. And if you don't respect yourself, why should she? A lack of boundaries doesn't make you nice. It makes you invisible. Fifth, self-disinvestment. You stop focusing on your own goals, hobbies, social circle. You make her the center of your universe. You ditch the gym to spend more time with her. You stop seeing friends. Your personal projects take a back seat. And what was an interesting man, with purpose, with a rich and multifaceted life, turns into a satellite orbiting around her. She no longer sees a man. She sees someone who has nothing but her. And that is suffocating and deeply unattractive. Sixth, premature future projection. You assume a level of commitment or intimacy long before there's reciprocity and emotional investment from her. In the first week of dates, you're already talking about trips together, future plans, how perfectly she fits into your life. You're emotionally investing at a speed she hasn't asked for and isn't ready to match. She feels pressured. She pulls back. And you don't understand why. Because you skipped steps. You built a castle in your head before laying the foundations in reality. These 6 patterns are the weapons you're using against yourself. And now that they have names, you can see them. You can master them. Let me show you how this works in practice. John, 32 years old, a software developer. He met a coworker. They started talking. He invested heavily in messages, always available, always ready to help. He started canceling gym sessions to see her. The scale began to tip. She started replying less frequently. He increased his investment, sending more messages, trying harder, until she simply stopped replying. The cost? Months of frustration, loss of focus on his health, his career, and the worst part, he didn't learn, because he didn't know what he had done wrong. Peter, 28 years old, a history teacher. He was dating a woman he liked. She started testing his limits. She was late for dates. She canceled last minute. Peter, wanting to be the nice guy, never confronted her, never established a consequence. She realized she could do whatever she wanted without losing access to him. Respect evaporated. And with respect, so did attraction. When she broke up with him, she said something was missing. What was missing was him. The man who sets boundaries, the man who respects himself. Peter paid the price of being too nice. He became invisible. Charles, 38 years old, an entrepreneur. He came out of a difficult divorce. He met a woman and made her the center of his life. He neglected friends, business. He started idealizing her. He talked about the future. She felt suffocated. She realized he was using the relationship as an escape, not as an addition to his life. She left. She said he needed to sort out his own issues first. And she was right. The cost? A relapse into post-divorce depression, business losses, and the internal confirmation that he wasn't enough, when the problem was never insufficiency. It was a lack of center. These 3 men repeated the same mistakes you are repeating now, and they will continue repeating them until they understand the mechanics. But let me tell you what happens when you identify the problem and react the wrong way. Because most men, when they realize they're losing her interest, go into panic mode and make even worse mistakes. You pursue, you beg for attention, and every desperate message is another pound on the wrong side of the scale. You get angry, resentful, you create a hostile environment, you try to rationalize her interest, use logic and arguments to convince her to feel attraction. As if attraction were negotiable, as if emotion responded to PowerPoint. Or you do the opposite. You increase your investment. You spend more money, more time, more effort, hoping to reverse the situation. And all you achieve is accelerating the decline. Because the problem isn't a lack of investment, it's misdirected investment based on behaviors that communicate low value. You constantly seek external validation. You become dependent on her approval to feel good. You lose your frame, your emotional autonomy, or you isolate yourself. You focus even more on her. You lose access to other sources of purpose, and you become needier, more dependent, less interesting. All these reactive errors have one thing in common. They prove you don't understand the problem. And as long as you don't understand, you'll keep repeating it. So, what do? How do you break out of this cycle? Here's the protocol. 6 operational steps. Low. Friction. High impact. First step, reaffirm your frame. Define and communicate your own values, priorities, and boundaries from the start. Show that you have an internal compass and aren't malleable. You're not here to mold yourself into what she wants. You're here to be who you are and see if you're compatible. This isn't being inflexible. It's having a backbone. It's having an identity. she will test this, and when you maintain your frame, she will respect it. Second step, cultivate your personal mission. Invest time and energy in your goals, hobbies, passions. Become an interesting person with a life purpose beyond the relationship. Because here's the secret. When you have a mission, she becomes part of your life, not the center. And that changes everything. You stop being needy. You stop needing her to exist. And that is incredibly attractive. Third step, practice strategic scarcity. Don't always be available. Value your time and space. Allow her to feel your absence. Allow her to invest to be with you. This isn't playing games, it's real valuing of your most finite resource, your time. If you don't value it, she won't value it. Fourth step, test her limits. Observe how she reacts when you set a boundary or politely disagree. This will show you her level of respect and adaptability. If she respects your boundaries, great. If she reacts poorly, you have valuable information about the type of relationship you would have with her, and you can decide before investing too much. Fifth step, disconnect from external validation. Seek your self-esteem internally. Don't depend on her approval or interest to feel good about yourself. This is fundamental. As long as you need her to validate you, you are in a position of weakness. When you validate yourself, you are in a position of strength, and strength is magnetic. Sixth step, invest proportionally. Increase your investment, time, emotion, resources, only to the extent that she demonstrates genuine reciprocity and investment. If she's investing 10%, you invest 10%. If she increases to 50, you match it. If she pulls back, you pull back. This keeps the scale balanced. This protects you from emotional waste. Now you have the map. You know the 6 patterns that destroy interest. You know the 6 reactive errors that make everything worse. And you have the 6 steps to rebuild your perceived value and keep the scale of attraction in your favor. But here's the ultimatum. If you don't act now, if you don't identify which of these patterns you are repeating today, tomorrow will be just like yesterday. You'll meet another woman. You'll feel that initial attraction. And you'll do exactly the same things that made the others lose interest. Because the problem was never them. It was you. And until you recognize that, nothing changes. The cost of not acting is to continue in this infinite loop of frustration, confusion, and resentment. The benefit of acting is to reclaim your personal power, reclaim your identity, become the kind of man who doesn't lose women's interest because he's not doing the things that kill attraction. So I ask you, which of the 6 patterns do you recognize in yourself? Where are you adding weight to the wrong side of the scale? Go to the comments now and write down which behavior you identified, because recognizing is the first step. And if you don't take that step today, if you don't take responsibility for what you're doing, nothing I've said here will make a difference. The choice is binary. Either you continue to be a prisoner of your own unconscious behaviors, or you take control and rebuild your attraction dynamics from scratch. There is no middle ground. There is no later. There is now. And now demands that you be honest with yourself for the first time. Go on, identify the pattern, write it in the comments, and commit to correcting it in your next interaction. Because your love life, your self-esteem, and your ability to build authentic relationships depend on it. The game isn't against them. It's against yourself. And it's time for you to win.